Dr. Miller. Look up Dr. Miller's vaccination protocol or schedule.
This is The Question, a Blog Talk Radio conversation with Doug Pagitt and joined by natural health coach Shelly Pagitt. And Shelly's going to take a call from callers. You can call in at 646-929-1199 or chat in on the chat room over at Blog Talk Radio or over at Ustream. You can get to those at DougPagitt.com.
Carla, come put your face in your.
But you could also drive over to our house and be an in-studio guest.
I'm going to sit with Sweet Shelly. You look so much better on the YouTubes than I do.
Oh, I have never looked.
Do you watch the YouTubes?
Well, yeah, I look at it sometimes at night. My head is so big. Look at Sweet Shelly next to me.
Maybe it's not your, it's just your hair.
It's not just my hair. I have a big head.
Do you have a big head?
I do.
Does she have a big head compared to
this
me?
is Carla
Look
Barnhill.
at my face. Look at the size
Carla
of my
Barnhill
noggin next to Sweet Shelly. No, here's my question. I don't want to take up your time because I have my own time coming soon. But did you see this big cover story, this Newsweek cover story about Oprah?
No.
So the current issue of Newsweek, well, I guess it's not current because a new one comes out today, it has this big story about Oprah and about Oprah Crazy Talk, and the whole thing is about how she advocates all these, she has people on, Jenny McCarthy talking about healing her son's autism through whatever it is, chelating, however you say that. Or she'll have somebody, she'll have Suzanne Summers come on and talk about her bioidentical hormone stuff and shooting herself in the uterus every day. And and so this article is talking about how Oprah is sort of irresponsible by just letting these people come on and then their advice goes completely unchecked or there's no pushback against advice that the medical community would say is just ridiculous and often harmful. And she had a woman who came on who cured her own breast cancer through something or other. And then some other woman comes on and she's like, I tried that and it didn't work and now I'm at stage 5 and I'm going to die. So thanks, Oprah. You know what I mean? So I want to find out what you think about somebody like Oprah who has people on who are promoting certain things without sort of maybe the background to promote them and like the impact that that's having as a natural health coach. So when I read that, the first thing I thought about is I wonder what Shelly would think about this article. So I want to hear what you would think about that.
Okay.
So feel free to call in with your comments, chat them in, or just come sit on the lap of the co-host.
Sure. So some thoughts that I have on that is I think that those are, so a while ago, maybe, I don't know whose recommendation, but I started recording Oprah just for those shows. Because I actually...
For the medical shows?
For the medical shows, for the alternative therapies, not for the stars or nonsense stuff that goes on. I don't care about her Friday show when she's got 5 people talking about whatever they think happened during the week or whatever. But I do care about the people who are interested in saying something other than what the medical community is saying. The one thing that I would say about that is that those people have a right to speak, and that they have, for the most part, done a lot of research and have a lot of personal experience, and have probably sought the advice of varieties of more natural doctors and thinkers. And I think that it doesn't go unchecked, in my opinion. I think for the most part, 90% of the information that people are getting has to do with traditional Western conventional medicine. And I actually like that there's somebody out there saying something different. And again, I would say that it all goes back to the listener or the person who is paying attention and trying to make a decision. And that we all need, this is my motto, you make the best decision you can at the time you need to make the decision with the information you have to make the decision. And if somebody is more inclined to seek a natural or holistic approach to their healing and their wellness, then I think that they need to do that. And there is ample evidence that these therapies work. I mean, the place that I just came from for 2 weeks, the women's therapies have worked, and there's testimony after testimony after testimony of healing people with AIDS, which nobody else is saying can be done. Healing people with AIDS, healing cancer at a whole variety of stages. A woman, Dr. Lorraine Day, who's ostracized now in the medical community, was she wasn't a brain surgeon, she was something. Like a big-time doctor at Johns Hopkins and, hugely involved in the medical community. And she got cancer, and she got breast cancer, and she had a tumor that was sticking out. I don't know if you all can see this on YouTube, but it was probably sticking out
like a third
5 inches. I mean, it was insane. And we watched a video by her, and it was huge. And it was really unbelievable because she said, I will not have chemo. I won't do it. What can I do? And she tried a variety of natural therapies and then critiqued them and said, this I tried, it didn't work for this reason. This didn't work for this reason. This didn't work for this reason. This is why I wouldn't recommend that. But this is why this one, this Ann Wigmore way, focusing on all greens and live foods and this and that, was something that was able to heal her. It took her a long time. She was willing to risk her own death that she was very close to. I mean, at one point for a period of about 2 weeks, she really thought she was going to die. And she was able to get well.
And that's not the Rosanna Dana kind of...
No. I mean, this was really critical. So anyway, to your point, I think that, so now she's a proponent, to doing natural things. Her protocol is insane. She drinks like 13 juices a day.
Oh my goodness.
She does crazy stuff. And my feeling is, again, what Colleen Welch would say is the diet that makes you well may not be the diet that keeps you well, but it certainly is something to look into. So I think that I would listen to those voices, I would read what they have to say, and then I would balance it out with your own information and then feel good about the decision that you're making, but make an informed decision. So,
well, wouldn't you say that Oprah should spend her time concerned with books that have been translated into Korean?
That's for another moment, because I still need to talk about the dental visits.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
I always think I'm not going to have enough.
This is the Blog Talk Radio Conversation on Tuesdays with natural health coach Shelley Pagitt, and she's now going to talk to us about dentistry in the natural vibe.
I wonder if I should talk about this next time.
Maybe next week we're going to hear from Shelley Pagitt about dentistry, because we are down to our final minute. I wonder if any of the other callers, now one of the people here, and I know this is a longer answer, is asking the question,
say hi.
How does a person decide what you're supposed to do when it comes to choosing vaccines? Because there's so much information out there,
right.
and the clock is running. That kid is going to get, the mumps.
Well, for the one guideline I would say is, for the very beginning, do not vaccinate your child while it's in the hospital. I would wait.
Even from the time it's born.
From the time it's born. They give every single child a hepatitis. I think it's hepatitis B.
You give them a vitamin K shot, I think.
Well, the vitamin K is to blood clot.
Right.
Which blood clotting, if they're getting
if
they're getting circumcised, circumcision used to be on the 8th day. Interestingly enough,
after the body releases vitamin K.
After the body begins to produce vitamin K on the 7th day.
They only circumcise a kid in the hospital because it keeps you from having to come back in.
Exactly.
Which, if they were thinking about making money, they'd have you come back in for another visit.
Well, and I would recommend that. I mean, don't get a hepatitis shot for your baby.
Could you do it at home?
No. Would not recommend self-circumcision or parental circumcision.
Well, not self-circumcision.
Okay, so, but think about it and look at Dr. Miller. He has a vaccination schedule. It's very informative, and off of that you should find some other really good links. There are new books that are doing it, and just look at the protocol and make sure you do my 2 recommendations.
Natural health coach Shelley Pagitt here on The Question, a Blog Talk Radio Conversation on